I am going to show you how to build a game and deploy it on the Internet Computer Blockchain using Construct3 and the DFX command line tool. To start, navigate to the Construct3 website in your preferred browser. Select Launch Construct3, then select Launch Guided Tour. Create a new project and give it a name. I'm going to zoom out a bit so we have a clear view of the finished viewport, which is represented by the rectangle in the upper left corner. Right-click anywhere in the layout and select Insert New Object. This will bring up a list of options. Choose the Sprite option. Click on the viewport at the location where you want to place your sprite. You are now in the Animation Editor. This is where you can create animations and edit images. Select the folder icon and navigate to the image file for the button in our game. Open the image, then close the Animation Editor to ensure the image is in the appropriate location and of the correct size. My button appears way too large, so I returned to the editor by double-clicking on the image. By scaling down the image, it looks much better. Right-click on the image, select Align, choose Viewport, and then Center Horizontal to ensure it is centered on the screen. Now, follow the steps we discussed to add another sprite for our coin image. For our coin image, we will be using several animations. The first animation will be titled Heads. Right-click on it to rename it Heads. The second animation will be named Tails. Right-click below the first animation and select Add Animation. Then rename it Tails. Follow that step again for a third animation, and this one will be renamed to Flip. Add the Tails image to the Tails animation. Then, select the Flip animation. We will be using 6 images in this animation, so we need to add additional frames. After adding the first image in the animation, right-click next to frame 0 and select Add Frame. Once you have 6 frames, add the images to each frame in the order you want them to animate. I'm using 3 images with the head side of the coin and 3 images with the tail side. Each head's image becomes sequentially smaller, while each tail's image becomes sequentially larger. This will create the illusion of the coin flipping when the animation plays quickly. You can preview the animation by clicking on the play button. While my animation looks decent, it certainly requires some adjustments to truly resemble a flipping motion. Close the preview window and then select the flip animation to access its options. I'll increase the speed to 34, set it to repeat 5 times, and enable ping pong. This will give the impression of the coin completing 5 full rotations. Now that definitely looks more like a coin flip. As you can see, the coin doesn't even fit within the viewport. So, I will return to the editor to scale down the size of the animation and ensure it is centered again. I'm adding another sprite that will allow players to close the DApp by pressing on it, following the steps we have already discussed. Before we can begin working on the logic of our game, we need to add 3 plugins that the game will rely on. You can add plugins in the same way you added sprites, by right-clicking in the layout and selecting Add New Object. Add the touch, audio, and browser plugins to your project. To add some sound to the game, right-click the music folder on the right and then choose Import Music. Next, click the Import Audio button and navigate to the audio files. I am importing sounds for both the flip and the drop. Once you've opened your files, click Import to add them to your project. Click the Event Sheet tab and select Add Event. Choose Settings, find On Start of Layout, and select it. Add an action for your coin sprite, select Set Animation, input Heads in the Animation field, and press Done. To add button functionality, select Add Event, choose Touch, click On Tap Object, and pick your button sprite. Under the On Touch event, select Add Action, choose your coin sprite, and set the animation to flip as demonstrated. Click Done, then select Add Action again. Choose the audio option and then play. Select your coin flip audio file in the audio file field and enter flip in the tag field. Click Done, then preview the project by pressing the play button located above the layout. We can flip the coin now, but it will always land on heads, and our X doesn't work yet. Close the preview window and then click Add Event. This time, select Audio and choose On Ended, then enter Flip in the tag field. Click Done, then click Add Action. Select the audio option, then play. Highlight your coin drop audio in the audio file field, then press Done. Add another action, but this time select the browser option, then vibrate, then Done. Click on Add Event and then select your coin sprite. Choose On Finished, then enter Flip in the animation field as demonstrated. Right-click on the event sheet somewhere to bring up the option to create a global variable. Select Add Global Variable. Name it Heads and make sure it is a number. Click OK, then click Add Action. Select System, then Set Value. Enter the text in the value field as shown in the video. Right-click on the system action we just created, or click on the Add button to view the options list. Click Add Sub-Event, then System, then Compare two variables. Set the first value to heads, the comparison to less than, and the second value to 1. Click Done. Click Add Action under the sub-event, then select your coin sprite. Pick the Set Animation option and enter Heads in the animation field, then press Done. Click on the Add button below the Set Animation action. Choose Add Else. Click Add Action just below the Else event. Select your coin sprite, then select Set Animation and place Tails in the animation field before clicking Done. Click Add Event one more time and select the Touch option. Choose On Tap Object, then press the X button, followed by OK. Below that event, click Add Action and select the Browser option. Scroll down and double-click Close. That should do it. Test your game by pressing the play button above the layout to ensure everything works as expected. If there are issues, refer back to the video to address any bugs before proceeding with the project export steps. Close the preview window and click on the menu button at the top left of the Construct 3 window. Navigate to Project, then click Export. Choose the Web HTML5 option and click Next. Proceed by clicking Next on the subsequent window. Construct 3 will start compiling your project into files, preparing them for deployment on the Internet Computer blockchain. When Construct 3 finishes compiling your project, a pop-up will appear. Download the zip file located at the top of the pop-up. Bear with me for a moment. Extract the zip file wherever you want your project. I had a problem extracting mine for some reason, so I'm using one I extracted earlier. Your extracted project should look like this. These are the files we will deploy. We will be using an example project from the Dfinity GitHub repository to deploy our game on-chain. The The repository is located at github.com/dfinity/examples. Navigate to that repository in your browser. Copy the URL for the Dfinity examples repository and open your terminal. Type git clone followed by the URL for the Dfinity examples repository, and then press enter. This will download the repository to your system folders. Navigate to the examples folder and take a look. It contains numerous examples, each with instructions provided in the README files. To access the folder for deploying our game, click on the examples folder, followed by the hosting folder. Inside the hosting folder, we'll use the static website example to deploy on-chain. Open the static website folder, then open the assets folder, then open the src folder. Delete the index.html file located inside the src folder to make room for our game files. Navigate to the construct3 project folder you just extracted and open the folder. Highlight all files and folders inside the exported folder and copy them to your clipboard. Then, paste all of those files and folders into the src folder that we just emptied. Exit the src folder and then leave the assets folder to return to the static website folder. Right-click on the static website folder and select the option to open in terminal. At this juncture, you can input DEFX deploy -- network IC to deploy your game on-chain. You must have the DFX command line tool installed, and there must be enough cycles in your wallet to create a new canister. I was slightly short on my first attempt, so we'll transfer some cycles to the wallet and then retry. There are several methods to transfer cycles, but I'll use the NNS-DAP to send them to the canister referenced in the DFX response. Please be patient as I log into my account and transfer the cycles. With the wallet canister now replenished, we should be able to execute DFX deploy -- network IC once more to deploy the game on-chain. If you look at the feedback from DFX, you will notice that the game canister has now been created and is now being loaded with all of the assets. That's it. The game is now live on the Internet Computer blockchain. Now, you can paste the URL provided by DFX into any browser to access and play the game we just built. Give it a try.